pure and wild, unhindered speculation and commentary on things that very few people believe in anyways. So...
And we're lost out here in the storm.
Thank you for listening to the Secret Society of Stuff.
Okay.
Houston, this is Discovery. We still have the alien spacecraft under observance.
I don't understand what happened.
That's fucking terrible, dude.
No shit. That stuff's getting sketchy as fuck, man.
Why?
Fucking no.
See, here's what my problem is that our astronomers have been searching the fucking heavens for one planet that could support life, right? And here we are sitting on one, and people are like, "Oh, I wonder if we're being visited." Of course, we're fucking being visited by fucking extraterrestrials.
I seen where a dude that got shot by Kyle Rittenhouse testified yesterday and leaned towards the credibility side of it being self-defense, the reason he shot to begin with 2 times during his testimony.
What happened?
I don't know. I didn't go any deeper than that. I just seen the headline. I spent 4 or 5 fucking years just plugged in watching Donald Trump every day because I was in the markets, and his words would sway the markets so fucking bigly at any given moment. Yeah, I used the word bigly. That's not a real fucking word, I don't think.
Oh, fuck, dude. Available now, Trinity, The Best Kept Secret by Paula Harris.
Yeah, by Ballet and Paula Harris, yeah. Yeah, that shit came out a month and a half or 2 ago, maybe a little longer back. Yeah.
But it says hard evidence has existed since 1945 for the actual recovery of unidentified plane craft in the United States.
Yeah, they have materials that some kid stole off a truck, maybe, that was hauling it back and turned over to Ballet.
What the fuck, dude?
Yeah.
Other site investigation service, Harris and Bailey, reconstructed a historic observation by 3 witnesses, 2 of whom are still living, who described to them the circumstances of the crash with details of the recovery of a nearly intact flying vehicle and its occupant by an army detachment. Combining their long experience, blah, blah, blah. It was avocado-shaped, weighing several tons. Surprisingly, the literature only mentions a few passing references to it. The correlation between the crash from the extraordinary object and the explosion of the first atom bomb at the White Sands, less than 20 miles away, has been missed. Yep. Suggests that the correlation is significant, physical, biological reasons. The witnesses were able to observe not only the actual crash of the object on their property, but every step of the military efforts to lift it and take it away. Fearing retaliation, they kept silence. When placed in the context of history, the chemical and physical analysis of retrieved UFO debris, you're right, yeah, an area where Harris and Vallée have long collaborated. The device observed by witnesses raised a number of very important scientific questions. Wow, dude, that's wild. Dude.
I'm going to tell you something. Hold this thought, and then I'm going to give you my thought on that. Did you hear Kurt on Toad the other day with Kurt Diamond, Theories of Everything?
No, tell me.
Lou come out and said they had HD photos of occupants aboard craft.
What?
Yeah.
Who has this?
You just hold I guess they as in fucking DOD or Pentagon or whoever.
He's seen them?
ATL boss out. Yeah, I guess he has. What is your thoughts on after the first nuclear blast, that we set off that UFOs show up?
So I think
there's some correlation.
So I don't think that the ones that are interested in the nuclear explosion came from space.
Those are probably our Sea brothers. Or the hole in the mountain people, Ala Anjali and Mount Shasta and all that shit. And there's been so many reports like off the Catalina Islands and everywhere else of shit coming from out of the water, fucking with the Nimitz or whatever. And then send nuclear subs down to see where the crash was, where the wreckage was, if there was anything there, and they couldn't find shit, as if these things, can go both ways.
Well, you heard what the pilot said. I forget what his name is. What was the pilot's name? Not his buddy, but the pilot.
David Fravor.
Fravor, right? Fravor said that prior to seeing the Tic Tac, there was a bubbling kind of
on the surface of the water,
a cross. Yeah, it looked like a cross, and there have been
and
plenty
it
of
was huge. It was huge. He said, like something massive was about to come up.
dude.
This shit's really fucking. If you go into the whole military aspect of this shit, there is so much insane fucking stuff.
Hang on. So I might lose you here for.
All right.
Please give a warm welcome to Phil Schneider.
I'll start from the beginning. I worked 17 years for the United States government as a geologist and aerospace engineer as well as a structural engineer. I carried a level 3 security clearance with a rhyolite factor. Rhyolite is a hardened factor, only given out to a handful of civilians and maybe a couple of hundred military men worldwide. I worked for Morrison Knudsen, Bechtel, Page & Page, Aerospatiale of France, EG&G. Co-invented methods of shape charge blasting as well as laser rock deflagration. I worked 11 years of the 17 years at Groom Lake, S4, S2. It's in the Nellis Air Force Base area. Let me give you a brief overview. Back in 1909, the U.S. Cavalry was engaged in catching some banditos that had crossed over the Mexican border into a place called Truth or Consequences, New Mexico. And they went into a cave and killed the so-called bandits, but what they found they couldn't explain. And they were called horseshoe craft at that time, or horseshoe ships. They were UFOs, and they saw these, what they called demons, gray demons all around the place. Now, in 1933, our government was actively engaged with the French and the English in aerial phenomenon that were fully known about as early as 1935 or 36 by our U.S. Navy. Also, in 1946, we were engaged in atomic bomb tests, and there was a shallow underwater base at Bikini Island, and that was the one reason why a number of atomic bombs were exploded in that area rather than other areas where it could have been even more remote out in the South Pacific. My work as a geologist in building underground military bases, some of which are over 2 miles underground. Incidentally, I helped work on 13 notorious Dulce in New Mexico, in the Los Alamos laboratory regions, where we built some hermetically sealed rooms that were very deep, going down over 1 mile. We also built additions onto Groom Lake and S2 and S4 complexes. They're called DUMBs. DUMB stands for Deep Underground Military Base. These underground bases are roughly over 3 of them per state. They average about 4¼ cubic miles hollowed out underground, an average depth of 5,700 feet underground. Each one of these military bases, by the way, these underground military bases, they cost somewhere between $17 and $26 billion. They employ 1,800 to 10,000 workers each. They gobble up over 1/4 of the black budget, or roughly $310 billion. We're being lied to at every turn and every corner. We're not being told the truth. Remember, what you're being told is only just a smattering of the truth. It's not the real truth. Maybe it's 5% of the truth. Maybe it's not even that. You can rest assured you're not getting much. Just imagine, if you're only being told 5% or less of the truth, that isn't very much to go on. I do ask you to go out and do your homework and keep doing it. Don't necessarily believe in what I'm saying, but get out there and talk to people. Whether it's just a couple of neighbors or friends or something, get out there and talk. Because 1 will tell 2 and 2 will tell 4, and then pretty soon you have a whole room full of people that are in the know. And then from there, wonders can work.
I like big butts and I cannot lie.
Oh, goddamn time. Jesus Christ. That's all fucking day, it seems. Wow.
I gotta set this down for a second. I'll be right back.
Okay.
In my face, I get